Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mallikarjun. All right, so today I'm gonna quickly demonstrate on how to create a database in a silent mode because getting a GUI mode in most of the client environment is very challenging. So that is also one of the security concerns for most of the clients, right? So we can get a GUI mode using a mobile xterm or using a VNC server or so many other utilities. We can get a GUI mode and we can run the DBC and then we can create a database via GUI mode. That's much easier and much simpler. But when you go to the banking sector and finance sector industry, the GUI is prohibited. They will not allow GUI mode for any database installation. So you have to deal with the manual mode of installation of or manual mode of your database creation. That will be silent mode using a command line. That's what I'm going to demonstrate in this particular today's session on my lab. Right. So if you're new to my channel and if you missed out my previous sessions, you can always go back to YouTube and search for my channel, Malik Jyotifu, and then please do watch all those previous sessions. And then don't forget to subscribe my channels. And if you like my videos, please share with your friends, colleagues, and give your thumbs up, right? And then if you're looking for any technical content, whatever I'm showing, demonstrating in this particular lab, so all those technical content, commands, script, everything will be available on my blog, malikjyoti4blogspot.com. You can get all those commands over there. Let's quickly jump onto my lab here. I connected here on my lab. If I can show you, I'm going to create a database called DevDB on my lab here, which is a 19C lab. So one of the prerequisites is, so assuming that you have, this is your server, this is your my server, you can see this is my Oracle lab one. So this is my lab one, this server, assuming that you must have installed your Oracle 19C before you create your database manually. So something like that, u01/19c/db home one, right? So _1. So this Oracle binaries, you have to install it, and we're going to be making use of those Oracle binaries. I'm going to create my 19C database over here. So I'm just going to clear it out. So if I can see here, cd user own app Oracle product 19C db home 1. So this is my Oracle home. So I already installed this Oracle home here. On this Oracle home, this is 19C Oracle home. On this Oracle home, I'm going to create my 19C database. So that is the DevDB database. So manual database creation or the silent mode of database creation, whatever you can call it. So high level steps are set your environmental variable, create a dummy init file, create a database, create your listener, create your TNS file, and create your password file. These are the high level steps, what I'm going to demonstrate. So what I'm going to do quickly, I'm going to create one environmental file and I'm going to put all these environment details here, your SID. I'm going to create this DevDB, your Oracle base, your Oracle home, your LD library path, class path, and then export the path. So I'm just going to create a VI file and then I'm going to source all this environment over here. So I'm just gonna log into my Oracle user here, and then I'm gonna create this file db.env, and I'm gonna put all these details here inside that db.env file. So let's log in here and then put all this content into this particular file here. So right now, if I do env pipeline capital Vara, so I don't have any environment here. So I'm just gonna run that environmental file, whatever I created, just dot space dot db.env. The moment I run this environmental file, it's gonna source all the environmental variable here for me, like my DB, SID, Oracle base, Oracle home, everything is set here. So now what I'll do, I'll just actually go to my DBS location. That's my first step, setting up the environment. What is we just now done it. Now I'm gonna create dummy init file or pfile. Just I'll go to my DBS location, and then inside the DBS location, right, you can see 19C Oracle home DBS location. Inside that, I'm gonna create init DevDB because the DevDB is the one what I'm gonna create it now manually. So for that, I'm gonna create this dummy init file. Create a dummy init file or the p file. So this dummy init file has the audit file list, DB trial, compatibility, control file. You can see control file 1, control file 2, your block size, your domain name, your DB recovery file list, your DB recovery file destination size, your DB name, your DB unique name, and diagnostic test and dispatcher log archive format. And these are commented out. And then your open cursor, your PGA, your processor, your SGA, remote login password file, and your undo table space. So these are your dummy init file. I'm just gonna create here, like, this file is already might have created here. Let's see. Right, so you can see this file is already created over here with all those parameters. Right, I'm just going to use that file and then I'm going to start my instance. I'm just going to connect to my database using SQL plus SysDBA, and then I'm going to do startup no mode. The moment I do startup no mode, it's going to use that p file, and then it will start my database using that p file, whatever we created just now here, init.db.ora. So already environment is set here. You can see by running this one, we already set the environment. So only I can directly use this, invoke this SQL plus SysDBA. I can do startup no mode. Right, so my instance is started in no mode, and then next step will be like create database. So this is my create database command here. You can see the command straightforward here. What it has, create database called devdb, maximum log files, maximum member for that each group, and number of data files, max instance 1, log files, my log files, 3 log files here. My data files, I can see system data files, which are 300 MB and data extended on, and then sysdoc data file, and then 200 MB, and undo table space, 200 MB, and default temporary table space, and this is a temp table space, 100 MB, and then character set AL32 UTF-8. So this is my simple database create command. So it's going to create a manual database, like, manually it's create a database without the GUI mode. So meantime, we can check the alert log, locate alert underscore devdb.log. Right here, my alert log already created here. Right, so right, it started here. Right, so database created here with this command. Right, and then I can say select name comma open underscore mode from $, database. Right, you can see devdb read write, select instance underscore name comma status from $, instance. Right, devdb open mode, show parameter name. You can see devdb, db name, db nickname, your SID, everything is set here. Select name from $, control file. Select name from $, control file. That you can see my control file 1, control file 2 got created here. Select name from $, database data file. So table or view does not exist. Data file, $, data file. Right, you can see your system sysocs undo whatever we created. Select member from $, log file. That you can see read log 1, read log 2, read log 3. Whatever we created, read logs, my system sysocs undo temp, everything got created here. Now, after creating database, it is not over yet. So we have to run these 3 scripts: catalog.sql, catproc.sql, pubbld.sql. So, catalog.sql creates all the dictionary views, and catproc will create all the specific store procedures, and pubbld will create a default roles and profiles. So these two, like catalog and catproc, will run it as a sys user. I can say SQL plus slash as sys user, sysdba. With the sysdba user, I'm going to run these 2 script here, and then this pubbld I have to run it with a manager. In 11G, we can directly connect to system with the default password manager, and then we can run it. But in 19C, the default password has changed. The system password has become no authentication. So you have to, this is a master document for that. So default password for system user manager has been changed in 19C. It become no authentication. You will not be able to connect to system user with the manager password. So you have to change the system user password after you create your 19C database manually, and then you have to use that new password and connect with that system user or on this particular pubbld.sql. So I can quickly run this particular first script, catalog.sql, which is going to create all the dictionary views. I'm just going to run it here. So meantime, I'm gonna connect to my support, and then I'm gonna show you that 19C changes, right? This is a master document ID. I'm just gonna browse that document ID and then I'm gonna show you here in a minute. So this is going to create all the dictionary views that it create. Right, so it's just going on. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is done here. So let's start the second script. So the cat proc, it's going to create a store procedure, which is going to take a little bit of longer time. We'll run that first. It's going to take few minutes. Meantime, we can go back to here. Default password for your system, that manager password has been changed in 19C. So from 19C onwards, whenever you're going to create a database manually, so you have to use a two method. While creating a database, you can set the new password for your system. So whatever this create database command here, create database command, and then you can user system identified by password, you can give that system password while create database command itself. That's a one way. Other way is like, once you create a database manually, after that you can connect your database using the SysDBA with OS authentication, and you can change the system user password, alter user system identified by whatever the password. So in 19C onwards, the manager, whatever the prior to 19C, whatever the manager password, in 19C it become no authentication. There is no authentication for your system user. Right, so that's a quick update on that 19C changes. Let it go on. So this is going to take few minutes because that is going to create a lot of stored procedure, right? Like you can see system specified stored procedure. So that's going to do a lot of stored procedure here. So this is your, yeah, this is your alert log here. You can see all the data files. Right, let it go on. So right, so once this is going on, after this cat proc, we have to run this connect, change the system user password, and then run this pub build, and then after that we're going to create a listener and other things. So I'll take this new session here. I'll just log into Oracle user and this new session. I'm going to run that environment over here, tb.env, right? So, and I'm going to go to my cd tnsAdmin location here. So this is your tnsAdmin, user and app Oracle product 19C db1 network /admin. Yeah, still that script is going on. So meantime, we can create our listeners and other things. So I'm just going to take a backup of this mv bkp, or yeah, bkp. I'll just going to move it here, and then tns names also mv. I'm just going to bkp, right? So both I moved it as a backup here. So now I'm going to create a brand new listener, vi listener.ora. So I'm just going to create one listener file here. And then that listener file has a listener, DevDB, description, protocol, host name, and then your port. So host name, I'm just going to get my host name here. Host name, it's my host name here. I'm just going to put my host name over here, and I'm just going to copy this one. And then your listener, this is going to be your listener ADR base directory. So this is your listener entry. I'm just going to put all this listener entry into this listener file here. Right, so listener entry done. What about the script? Script is still going on. Let it go on. So cat listener. Right, so this is your listener. So I'm just going to start my listener, lsnr_ctl. I'm just going to do status first. It will be like not running. Right, you can see, oh, this is your, okay, this is your other database. Let's kill that other listener here. I'm just going to kill this listener. Kill -9. That was the old listener, what we had it here. So which was running on the same 1521 port. So now go back and check it one more time. Listener listener. Where is that one here? Listener stated listeners should not run anything here. Now you can see your listener running or not running, connection refused. So you're going to start that lsnr_ctl start your listener name. Right. So it started here. Check the status. right? Nothing is running here. Still that script is going on here. Your listener is started now, and then meantime we can create my TNS files here. Again, same thing, go to your Oracle Home Network Admin, that's your TNS admin location, create a VI file, and then DevDB description, and then protocol TCP, your host name, and then your port and service name is a DevDB. So I'm just going to create my TNS file here, and then I'm going to add this entry on that TNS file. Right, so your TNS is ready. It is still going on. Right, so your yeah, still going on that one. So your listener is ready, your TNS is ready. So cat tnsnames.ora. So TNS ping, right? You will be able to do a TNS ping, okay, 0 milliseconds. So you're able to do TNS ping for your database. That's a good thing. Right, so after that, we're going to create a password file. So we'll see once the database creation completed, we can create a password file, or you can go ahead and create a password file, not an issue. What we can do for that password file, I'm going to go into Oracle Home DBS location. So I'll just go here into my DBS location, PWD. So this is a DBS location, user on app Oracle product 19C, DB Home on DBS location. So, and then if I do LSF in LTR, Ora PW. So I don't have any password file for my DevDB. This is the CDB old database. We have that password file. Now I'm going to create a DevDB password file. It will be like naming convention for your password file is Vara PW followed by your database name or the instance name here. For the standalone database name and instance name, most of the time is same. So it will be like database name here. Vara PWD file, Oracle Home DBS location, Vara PW DevDB. And then password, you're going to set the password for your sys user. Entry is equal to 5. The 5 sys entries, you can add it on that. So I'm just going to run this one here. So it's going to create a password file. So go back here, run this one. So done. You can see here, Vara PWD DevDB. So your password file got created. Right, and then you can verify your listener status. Your database should be registered in that particular listener by this time. Till not. Yes, IFNF grep TNS. So what we can do, it is still that other database are all registered on the same. You can see your CDBDB and your DevDB. Everything is got registered on the same listener. You can see CDBDB and all the PDBs, everything is registered along with your DevDB, because both the CDBDB and DevDB both are listing under 1521 and both are running from the same Oracle Home. So that's why you can see all the other listeners. The listener has all the other services and database details here. But what we are concentrating on my DevDB database here. So DevDB services is registered here, and then you can try to connect with that password, like whatever the sys password, like SQL plus sys slash whatever the password you defined here for your sys user, right? This is the password, Malik123 hash @ DevDB. So you have to verify your password using your TNS files, right? Like you have to use this DevDB @DevDB as its DBA. So you were able to connect, right? So with that sys password. So that password file is working fine. If you try to connect with the moment you use @DevDB, the TNS files, that will be considered as your remote connection, and then you'll be able to connect. Right. That's for the password file, and then you can just verify using that by giving the wrong password. It will not allow you to connect. For example, if I remove this one, Malik sys/Malik something random character here, and it says invalid username and password, right? This is a wrong password here, so you'll not be able to connect, right? So then this is a way you can verify your sys password via TNS files. It means your remote connection is working, so that your password file, whatever you created, it looks good, and then the password is correct. All right, so yeah, this is second script still going on. So we are almost done the post steps. Meantime, when the second script is running here, and the last step what we left with is run this third script. That's a pub build script. For that, I just need to change my system user password and then run that particular script here. So that's going to take another few more minutes here. Right. So meantime, we can tail the log here. I'll exit from here. And then this is my log file here. Yeah, we're doing a lot of things here. Right. Yeah. This is the the important script cat.proc.sql because that's going to create a lot of stored procedures and system specific stored procedure and other things. So and then this pub.bld will be just a few seconds. Within like 1 second, it will get complete. And this catalog will be like very small one, like within 5-10 minutes it got completed within 5 minutes. But this cat.proc is the one major script which is going to create a lot of object, a lot of stored procedure inside my database. You can see it's still running. I can see at the database level, a lot of things are happening with the alert log. Also, you can see this one. Alter package, compile. Yeah. Still going on. A lot of things here. Yeah, let it go on. XDB package, XDB component, dbmsgst loaded XDB component. Right, a lot of things at your database alert log here. Okay, it says cat.proc is done here. And then let's go back and let's change the system password, alter user system identified by password. I'm just going to change my system user password here. Like, if you try to connect with the manager, it'll not connect. For example, if I try with connect system manager, the manager is the default password till 11G12C you can use. But starting with 19C, you cannot use that manager password. Connect /sysdba, connect back with sysdba, and then connect, change that password here. Right, so change your password and now we can connect using that password. Connect system, and then the password is this one, whatever you change here. Right, connected, show user, you can see system, and then you can run this last script, that pub.bld.sql, which will be like very 1 second, within 1 second it will be done. Right, you can see it's done. Right, so that's a simplest way to create your database manually. You can see it over here. Right, your database is ready. Right, so yeah, that's it for the today's session, guys. We'll connect on our next session with the next topic. Thank you.